Welcome back to some professional Starcraft, to a best of 5 Terran versus Zerg from the playoffs of Dreamhack Master Summer 2011. If you've ever watched Starcraft before, it's very likely you know both these players, but it is my job, self-proclaimed, to introduce them anyways. First, the man whose name has oftentimes been exactly the opposite of his strategy, but his execution almost machine-like. People joke about him acting like a robot in-game, but Zest is the robot out of it, so I don't think he can take that title. Anyways, it is South Korea's innovation. And in the bottom left, one of the most dynamic players, for better or worse. A definite fan favorite. Probably the reason you're here liking and subscribing, and also the reason I chose to cast this series. Hoping for a positive outcome. It's Shopify Rebellion's Canadian Zerg, Scarlett. Scarlett is, dynamic, I guess, is a nice way to say. Sometimes she doesn't look very good at all, and sometimes she looks like the best Zerg in the world. It's evened out a little lately. Scarlett's still near the top, but her innovation, if that would be, I think that's accurate. She innovates Zerg. Sometimes innovates in a direction that is not successful, but she has showcased, including against her current opponent, some of the most outlandish builds. I remember, I think it was against Innovation in GSL Code S, like a year and a half ago, showcasing, I think it was like a +1 Ling all-in or something ridiculous that would never ever work again. But just do it, and then Innovation's like, I'm gonna do a 2-1-1 into 3CC, into double engineering bay, into a tank push. It's like, wow, Innovation, very bold. Where'd you come up with that one? How many years in meditation did that one take you? Well, unfortunately, tough to lead off with this, but Innovation, after the next month or two, will be retiring for his obligational South Korean military service. And he doesn't plan on returning because, like me, he is old. So, at least that's the situation. But, so what does that mean? Do we root for Innovation here? You know what? I just root for good games for the fans. That's what I want. So, can we? I need to be able. Oh my God! Nobody look at this. Edit that out. Edit it out. We're professional here. Once we steal 4K from Loco, and then we edit the video, then no one will stop us. Billions of likes. $3-1-1-1 from Inno. Choosing the more modern style of just kind of skipping into the starport. Getting a... Well, we'll see if it's a Banshee. He's getting Hellions. A Banshee is the safest follow-up. Occasionally players will try to choose another unit for some aggression. A Viking is the first choice. So, Scarlett, well known for being a drone enthusiast on occasion, but also can be aggressive. I don't see Scarlett in Game 1 going for some sort of ridiculous all-in. She didn't send an OV in. She didn't get OV speed. There's really no way to tell, because Innovation intentionally, some players will build the CC on the low ground near the ramp, and then the Overlord spots it super easy. But it's also part of a wall off, so you got both sides of that. Innovation is intentionally hiding this, I think, because he's doing a build that could die to a roach element. Like a half a dozen roaches and some lings would run this over right now, as there's only Hellions to defend. But Scarlett, without that information... Oh, the Bubula! Outside, slowed, and now slowed as slow as you could be. Not as slow as Queen's off... Karen. Yeah, the Bubula speed reducing zone, as you can see there, also affects air. Scarlett using and abusing it. Is that a Hellion drop? No No armory for Hellbats, but I mean, I approve of that. No, wait, you can't just let the Zerglings in. I don't care that Scarlett is Canadian. You don't just let people in your house like this. Oh, I'm sorry about your SCVs, you know. On both bases, another set of Lings in the natural. I'm not sure if that came with the first group. Either way, Hellions into the main, looking to return fire in every sense of the word. And indeed they will. So far, Scarlett with very good micro. But there's almost uncontested Hellions up against the drones, and that's going to be 7, 8. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. And at the end of the day, Scarlett, who already had a 4th at the gold base, already had over 50 drones. 8 drones when you're just getting a 3rd, that's huge. 8 drones when you've got 4 bases on the way, not nearly as big a deal. That larva is an important resource, but it becomes much less critical as you get all these hatches. You have plenty of queens. So Scarlett gonna shrug that off a little easier than Inno. And also, just a little side note. The Lings got in, they saw the barracks. It's bio. It's not gonna be mech. We've seen Maru flirting with some mech lately, a little bit of bio-curious action. Battle cruiser. No. Inno, you remember that build? Okay, I'm gonna get 3 CCs, I'm gonna do a marine tank push, and then I'm also going to do a marine tank push. And that is the build. The Hellion drop was more of a throwing it in there because the Hellions are a critical part of the early game as opposed to the entirety of the direction. Oh, Spore Crawler and the anti-air bubs gonna slow things down. Annoying surprising that Scarlett had nothing here to defend against a single medevac. I think it flew by a Zergling there, but Marines gunning down a queen, slip back into the medevac. Why can they all get into the medevac at the same time, but they can't get out all at the same time? Somebody explain this. It's gonna be roaches, by the way. I think the getting it will be harder, but Scarlett is about to swing a massive roach hammer down on Innovation's face. She's got a gold base. She's got a pretty redonkulous amount of income right now. 3,600 minerals per minute. Innovation does have mules, does have a 3rd. But if he's not ready for the nearly 200 supply of Scarlett coming in at... It's not even 8 minutes yet. She's at 160 with 4 bases. Try not to show the brunt of these roaches until it's too late. The Queen's here to handle the drop. Roaches tagging along. I'm not sure if Inno knows. Inno would be building siege tanks if he knew. I will tell you right now. He's getting drilling claws. What do you think, Inno? Do you think drilling claws are the choice? He cancels a Whittle Mine, starts a tank, and starts to panic. Because that is a lot of roaches. Upgrades aren't going to save you. The army supplied twice as much army supply. Now roaches, I mean, they're pretty supply heavy. But they're not here to be cost effective. Only the second word matters. And I think these roaches, and now soon to be Ravagers, the lucky ones who graduated, well, at least in the top half of the class. 3 tanks, a smattering of Marines, a piecemeal wall. Innovation is not ready. Scarlett slamming through. 4 tanks now. The boys have to be pulled. Remember, behind this, there's plenty of economy. Roach is eating huge tank shots. 17 SCVs down. Innovation may hold as Scarlett prioritizes killing the SCVs and Marines over the tanks. But that's not the end of it. This was not an all-in timing. That was just the first wave. Was it enough? 19 SCVs is a lot. But actually, that went a little better for Inno than I thought it could. I thought Scarlett would try to break the tanks in that scenario, but instead, she whittled down the Marine count. So there's pros and cons here. Obviously, it's a little easier to get the... shout out to Innovation. Shout out to Innovation, one of the best StarCraft 2 players of all time for being pretty good. But he pulled the SCVs in just the right number to hold the tanks. Like, he accepted the SCVs would be lost. But now killing the Marines and SCVs means Scarlett doesn't have to worry about anything but a big push. There's not really enough bio to do drops, like a single medevac drop is about the extent of it, and the queens can handle that on their own. So Scarlett is safe enough to get up to Hive Tech, Lurker Den, and of course she's been sitting on 4 or 5 bases this whole damn time. 1,600 minerals in the... She literally can't spend her money. Being too rich is one of the best problems you can have, but is a problem potentially, depending on how the game plays out. Spore crawlers in the main base, acknowledging the severe lack of anti-air. Queens, 1 medevac, 2 medevac. Can I get 3? 3 for 3. That drop did not end well for Inno, who's just trying to buy time until he can get a critical mass of tanks and bio. He's got his 4th base now, Planetary Fortress, but Scarlett Vipers in the production tab creep across half the map. Entire side taken. 85 drones. The scan, yeah, I don't know what you expected, you know. He's like, well, can I chrono boost my tanks? If only. It's not... It's still Scarlett who has the initiative and who has most of the advantages. But the closer Inno gets to 200 supply, the more ambiguous it is. The more likely it is that a bad fight translate into a game loss before reinforcements can arrive. Scarlett banking up money. The Vipers and Lurkers are the next level of tech that are entirely capable of dismantling the tank line. Five Lurkers on the way. I liked how it wasn't multiple waves of roaches thrown in. Nope, just the first wave. Took map control and now teching up. I don't know about this one. Gets the sensor tower. That's a nice pickup there. They don't have much HP. Don't want to risk the Lurkers. Bio army. There is no anti-air aside from corrosive bio, queens, and vipers, all of which are technically anti-air, but practically not so great at it. So far, Scarlett wielding... not really losing anything more, actually. Losing the same amount of resources with plenty more... Oh, drags the tanks in and blinds them. Come on over here. Slaps a bag over his head and shreds him with the lurker spines. Oh my god. 5 tanks just kidnapped and slaughtered. The mineral wall may stop the units, but she'll bring the units to her. Another wave of corrosive biles, another volley. I don't know what happened to the drop, but it seems to have been negated. The quick... Brenda, why are we on our own? Oh. Well, losing the queens is not really a big deal at all, but don't tell them that. It's better to lose the queens than essentially any unit that costs gas. Oh, parasitic bomb, a premium choice here. Oh, maximum damage, kills 1 medevac, forces the rest back, and dismantles the attack. Scarlett not cutting innovation any slack. So far, 3-3 against 2-2. Inno was so desperate for units that he kind of skipped the 3-3. And by skipped, I mean intentionally focused on tanks because of a lack of resources. Now Scarlett is going to be maxed out on upgrades, maxed out on supply, and has no reason to stop attacking. There's nothing here besides like an overwhelming siege tank count, which is becoming less and less possible as time goes on. Another tank, another kill. Another tank, another kill. How many tanks are left? There are 4 tanks. On their own, that's not enough. Make that 3. Counter drop. Corrosive bile. Hitting something. 13 SCVs have gone down. The gold minerals threaten from the opposite side. Lurkers. It's death by 1,000 lurker spines now. As another round of SCVs. Innovation actually has 80 SCVs. So, despite losing 23, he still has 76. So that is, wow. That's an interesting fact. You made a lot of SCVs. But these roaches very hyped about the lurkers that are about to pop. 14 lurkers. Yeah, ghosts are on the horizon. Ghosts good at countering Vipers and Lurkers, as opposed to the tanks who are at the mercy of the Viper energy. Looking for EMP, gets some snipes, yanks a tank, gets a Viper. The rest in the medevacs to avoid it. The Lurkers working from the high ground. Don't ask how they do that dimensional magic. Oh, a couple Lurkers getting caught and killed, but that's still a lot of Roach Hydra. Innovation been holding his own. He's got 3-3 done. The Lurkers are committing to this fight, which, if it works out, that's a win. But if this many Lurkers are lost, that's a significant blow. Oh, Lurkers. I guess Innovation had enough. Kind of felt like a losing battle for most of this, and he just taps it out. The Lurkers get into the production line. It was one fight away from victory for Scarlett for most of it. Innovation just, like, what did he even do wrong? Well, he let Zerglings in his base, which is never a good start. Innovation is a perfect Terran who has perfect micro and decision making and literally never makes a mistake besides not playing Zerg, right? Thank you. With that said, Scarlett, the dominant game one. Looking a little lost on how to actually deal with the Lurkers besides not dying to them. Into game 2. Interesting, like, I think Inno was thrown off by the early lings. I didn't expect the Roach switch, and I have the production tab, so I actually, like, Scarlett was halfway through Roach speed and +1 ranged attack before I realized what was happening. And believe it or not, Inno doesn't have Scarlett's production tab in-game during a tournament. I know. You have to use your brain, which is very hard. Scarlett masked it well, and I don't think the first attack was so much like a devastating blow economically or did critical damage, so much as just kept Inno off balance. In a lot of Terrans, especially on a map where you expand away from your opponent, what I mean is on Blackburn, the main base, every base you make is further away from your opponent's main, for the most part. Most maps are not like that. Like here on Oxide, every base you take is closer to your opponent. So on maps where your opponent it expands away from you, you kind of rely on Jimmy! No time warps! Mothership Core no longer exists. What do you mean the mothership has spells? I thought it was just a dramatic centerpiece. Anyways. I apologize. Not having the ability, like not having the unit count to send out drops, not having the unit, like essentially anything to keep expansions alive, Scarlett just whittled that down and limited Innovation's options. And really, I have nothing to criticize, which is, and I try. Don't believe me, you. I don't think that's a strat she'll necessarily try again. The Roach, like, it's good to have the Roach style. It's good to just have it to kind of force the Terran to make a Banshee, I think. Like, you gotta have it in the back of your mind. Oh, it could be Roaches. So that way you're not dealing with a perfectly manicured, like, Marine Mine timing push or something. Oh my god, he's so greedy! They can't keep getting away with it! Now this is the time. I mean, at least he's building in his main, I guess. It's disgusting. I'm disgusted. This is... I mean, Maru and all Terrans do it. Just the ridiculously quick, in my opinion, pre-Starport 3rd CC. Which I don't think the CC timing was the mistake, if there was to be one in the last game, but it just... Terrans feel comfortable enough that they can get 3 CCs right off the bat. I know Zerg get 3 hatcheries, but their hatcheries are also their production facilities. What if your command center also made Marines? Like, that's the comparison here. So, while Inno does have a tech lab on that starport, I would be surprised to see a Banshee behind, especially since he's building a tech lab. Scarlett will see the starport, will see the barracks, but not the add-on, so well placed. The add-ons tell the story here. There is no Overlord in position. Most Zerg players will be reluctant, at best, to send OVs in without OV speed, because, like, they're just going to die. Like, this Overlord is going to die eventually. There's only one Overlord on that side of the map. So, Overlords are just like budget observers for Zergs. Also the supply part, but you see Scarlett here. Let's look at Scarlett's vision. Just the Scarlett cam for a sec.
Our forces are under attack.
Just expanding vision around all sides. The Overlord's moving. Creep, creep. On Overlord's covering all the angles that aren't going to be easily creeped. Because the map is, of course, dark and full of Terrans. A Banshee's on the way for Inno, but right now it's just filling in the blanks, making sure everything's on track, and then eventually teching up and should be getting a lair momentarily. 3, 2, 1. Ah. Lair. Alright. I cast Lair. I special cat. Okay. Is she gonna go for the 1-1? No, the lair should have started. I don't know what we're waiting for. Anyways. I mean, it could just be the 1-1, but I cast Lair. You see, right on time. Honestly, if you're going for the Evo Chambers that late, there's no reason not to get the Lair. She had the gas for it, so. A little bit later on the Lair. Okay, just looking for any mistakes, I guess. Your Lair was 17 seconds late this game, Scarlett. Ah, how are you Grandmaster? As Protoss. It's like, oh, that makes sense. 1-1 on the way, both sides. This time, Scarlett going to be a little closer, and it's going to be Ling Bane. Well, we got to get the Baneling Nest. Thank you. Banshee, finding any kills. Good for it. The Viking is driving back. The Viking racked up a grand total of 1 Overlord kill, so. The creep spread, and now this is what you give up. Especially since Innovation went 3 CC. You've kind of given up on really controlling the creep. Scarlett has creep over almost half the map, despite Innovation contesting it. Well over, like, well past not only her 3rd, but her 4th base. There's 2 or 3 scans of creep now, away from the bases that Innovation's going to want to attack. And this is kind of, oh my god, the knitting crew takes position. Let the creep slowly strike swiftly! Because of the creep, of course. And Scarlett not gonna let that scan go unanswered. Innovation desperate to get anything here. Both players at 73 workers. Ooh, the Hellions complicate things a bit. I guess we got a nice passive. This is about as passive as it gets. Both players contesting the edges of the creep. Oh my god, it's intimidating to see. By the time you move out, the creep is closer to your base than theirs. That is not. There's a lot of work to be done here. 2-2 is on the way. I don't think Innovation's going to be intimidated. Look at Innovation has actually more supply right now. He has not been slipping on the macro. Scarlett going to go up to about 90-something drones, which is perfectly fine going Mutiling Bane. It's because of, well, it's Muta time. Where's Bane's... Oh, Bane speed finished. Okay. I saw for a moment no Bane speed in production and no Bane speed on the ground. But in the time it took my eyes to move, Bane speed completed. So Bane speed done. Bane speed, a lot of people don't actually know, gives Banelings plus 5 HP. Okay, that's kind of a huge deal. 5 more HP on all of your on top of being faster, but it also gives it's like mini combat shield plus speed. So that is why, on top of just closing the distance, even a lot of players will use the Banelings as a shield. That's why you'll see Banelings rolling past Marines sometimes, is because players will right-click the Banelings past everything else, so that way they eat damage. Because when they die, well, you know how it is, so either way, might as well get as much out of them as you can. God, creep is just oppressive, right? Look at Innovation's mini-map. Oh my god. And Muta's, for the first time, spotted. He was making tanks. That was a critical mistake. The Zerg are coming. We cannot get out. Oh no, the tank's down. It's a planetary. Scarlett gonna try to snap that one up. This might be a bit far here if she doesn't get the planetary. Banelings finish it off. Mutas get out. 9 SCVs as well. A few Mutalists gunned down. Neither player had 2-2 at the start of that fight. Now they will both have it for the next engagement, but Scarlett easily able to refill. Tanks down. Got the base. Got the Marines. Innovation left in a similar place to last game, where he didn't lose. Like, that's not a critical amount of economy, though Scarlett has 97 drones. It's not a critical amount of army, but it's just enough he can't really get much done on the map without risking. Like, it's no longer even. It's now Scarlett has the map, and Innovation has to figure out how to deal with that. Hive is now done. Started +3. He's just gonna... Oh. I think those lings meant to attack the rocks, but the protectors of the rocks will stop them for now. Oh my god. Another wave. Adrenal glands on the way. The Great Wall of Depots. Trying to isolate the base, but Banelings will make quick work of that if that's the decision. The creep crew coming in to refresh everything that may have been whittled away. The Great Wall of Spines to stop any sort of silly counterattacks. The scan sees a hive and 2 macro hatches, which is, not like that does not spark joy as a Terran player. Joy, very sparked by that Widow Mine. That Widow Mine was 16 kills, and I think they were all Banelings. So, when Banelings attack, they don't show up in the units lost, because they are a unit loved. And because of a weird statistical thing. But when a Baneling is killed by another unit, it shows up here. So, 22, and most of them from that Widow Mine. Oh, that Changeling's trying to block as well. But Inno is maxed out. Scarlett has been dipping and diving around with the Mutas. I like how she's not continuing to make Mutas, but instead kind of teching out of them because on it. Oh, whoa, whoa! Those Banelings got a little closer than they ever deserved to. Another group gonna just make sure that the Thors escape. A lot of damage coming in from the Widow Mines onto the Medivacs. We'll see if Inno is one of the people who actually has the right to repair his Medivacs. A lot of Terran players just they're like, well, I gotta send them back to the shop, and that's a whole deal. Though occasionally you'll find a Terran player who realizes Medivacs are a unit you can repair, and that's always like finding a unicorn. Looks like not yet at the moment. Remember that time that Scarlett went burrowed Banelings? Well, of all the times, against Innovation in the Dreamhack playoffs, it's kind of filling in the blanks now. The one thing Overlord Speed is done. There's no reason not to get it. It's an incredibly cheap upgrade, especially at this stage. Scarlett is mining... Well, they're both mining a ridiculous amount of money. This is the late game, not the end game, but the late game. When you have as much money as you want, and your only limiting factor is how much you can build. The main bases have yet to mine out. Brood Lords on the way. Not so much, I think, for winning outright, but for negating Widow Mines and contesting Thors. There's only a couple Thors. They were here for the Mutas. But the Broodlings are coming. Widow Mines are much more likely to trigger on friendly units. The Thors, the Vanguard at the front taken down. Zerglings slipping through the rocks. A few banelings still threatening. Innovation standing his ground. The medevac count is too damn high. The broodlords are almost all that's left over. Scarlett losing the initial fight, but the broodlings still chipping through. Another round of banelings are going to deny Innovation's opportunities to easily kill these broodlords. Half a dozen banelings could definitely stop this push in its tracks. Both sides losing a lot of supply here, but the broodlord still reigning overhead. Zerglings, a full surround, a huge replenishment, and the widow mines are not there. That's so many Zerglings. She had no Zerglings, and now she has 86 Zerglings. I don't know how much. Well, that's at least 40-something larvae. The Corruptor's working through the medevacs. Innovation dipping in supply. He doesn't have the production. Scarlett is already on the mineral lines, carrying the push all the way through. The Broodlord, the icing on the cake, and that cake is a 2-0 lead. Innovation down to 120 and plummeting. There's no coming back from this. Scarlett's economy, still 87 drones, no bases denied. The main is still mining for a while yet. Innovation building ghosts and Vikings and Marines, but this is not 38 minutes into the match. This is a decisive victory on the field, turning into what should be a decisive victory in the match. 27 SCVs with this. Innovation. Yeah, well, saw that one coming. Wow. Innovation dropping 2. Scarlett looking straight up like the better player. Maybe going 3CC and letting Scarlett creep the entire map. Maybe that's not the ideal choice. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Okay. I mean, I'm about as close as you get, but So, I don't know. Leave a comment. What do you think? You think you should just let Scarlett creep the entire map, get 90 drones, and then do whatever she wants? Or maybe not. 2-0. We'll see what Innovation comes up with. Now, the real question is, I forgot to throw it out there, but was I going to come back to match 3 with an SCV or 2 across the map? I'm honestly surprised. The answer is no. But it's too... The Proxy Rex mind games are too much. Okay? Like, you can't go down 2-0 and then Proxy Rex. That's too obvious. But you gotta... Like, when you're up 2-0, maybe. I think if Innovation wins this game, the next game's a Proxy Rex. Scarlett thinks Innovation might Proxy Rex. She's going for a defensive pool first. There's no gas. This is not like before Overlord. This is just, in case you're actually going to do that, then I win. Or at least I should win. Assuming it's scouted in a timely fashion. Pool first for the first time in the series. Yeah, Scarlett doesn't want to take any chances, but... Okay, well, remember, this is Innovation. So, Innovation, there's not an insignificant chance that he just goes 3CC before Starport and lets Scarlett get half the map into a Marine tank timing again. Because he had the supply. He had the units and the upgrades. This wasn't a case of like, well, he just didn't have enough stuff. No, he had plenty of stuff. So, the issue just seemed to be with the execution. As Scarlett, like, is it where he put the units? Is it the lack of, I guess, I don't know. But the fact that Innovation's doing so far the same opener, well, it's different from Scarlett, so we'll see how that factors in. 2 lings, with 4 slipping out. The SCV scout kind of critical here. 1 Marine being built. Innovation knows that that's... Yeah. That's bait right there. Innovation not gonna be fooled. Oh, it's just 2 lings. Yeah, okay. No one just makes 2 lings off a pool first. Unless the SCV scouted super early, in which case you just make the 2. But it didn't. So Scarlett not moving in with the lings because the Overlord sees that the Reaper was moving out. Now she'll move in. Oh, but, you know, waited until he would be guaranteed to finish the command center. So, not taking any chances with that. But also not being needlessly defensive. Wow, that Ling, he just... I legitimately can't tell, because he's microing on the other side. Was that a, come on in, and then shut the door in her face, or was he just microing his Reaper and not paying attention? Scarlett didn't know the answer to that either. Did not call the bluff. Creep begins. Queen count won't be as high as the hatchery count. Not gonna be as high as quickly. Okay, a medevac. This is what, well, Innovation's doing what I think every Terran who does a Hellbat push should do. Which is, one, not do a Hellbat push. Because, oh my god! Sit it. That's not supposed to happen.
We got him.
Alright, well. Medevac comes out. It is revealed to the Overlord. The Overlord is like, oh, wait a sec. Well, have to pay respects. So, Scarlett now should realize she's gonna think this is a Hellbat push. Because it looks like a Hellbat push. But eventually, after enough time, everything smells like napalm in the morning. Zerglings get into the natural. Now, what the response to the medevac Hellion is not that much different than if it was Hellbats. Like, building queens, the spine is a bit excessive. But this is Inno... Look at the drone count. This is Inno controlling Scarlett's drone count. Yeah, she's going to get a few more here, but it's on the edge of the creep. The queens have to move out of position. The Zerglings had to be produced. Innovation kind of just doing a little. This isn't a huge investment at all. Well, losing the Hellions to Zerglings, that's not in the script. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, that was bad. Okay. Yeah, that really wasn't... That was really not good. I'm reluctant to say bad, but it's definitely not good. Huh. Those Hellions are supposed to control the creep and at least ostensibly help with map control, especially since Inno's building cloak banshees. Like, and committing to the cloak. This isn't a... he's not faking it. He gets cloak for banshees, but it's not like the Ling... Well, the queens are no longer going to be distracted by Hellions. So, this is a big gamble. There's already spores, so the maximum damage this could do is not super high. The fourth base is on the way. The Banshees might be able to cancel it before the lair finishes, but one significant thing, what we see on Light Shade in Terran vs. Zerg a lot of the time... Oh, the Banshees is going for the queens. Brenda, I can't see anything! Look up! I still don't... Oh, no. Who does... We've been dealing with this since 2010. Literally. Well, Spore Crawler and Overseer are enough to turn him around. What we see is... To stop myself from being interrupted, I blacked out for a second there. A tank push from this high ground platform. This has ended Zergs. It's surprisingly powerful. It's awkward to get a surround on because you're kind of boxed in by rocks. So a tank push on that high ground, and I think we're about to see it as Innovation. While he has an armory on the way, it's not an all-in, but with 2 medevacs coming out, there's no reason not to put some pressure on. And Scarlett is not going to have 1-1. She's not going to have Bane speed. She's gone for 4 bases for 88 drones! No, that's way too many. That's like... That is gratuitous. And she has no vision as she's dealing with the Banshees. The Banelings are starting. Well, that's about as awkward as it gets. Huh, okay. So without Baneling speed, they're just gonna die. Oh, no. Yeah, like, Scarlett now has to buy time till mainling speed. Now, those queens are quite a buffer, but 1-1 is going to make it... The timer is ticking down here. Yeah, they're just gunning down the banelings. Without bane speed, this is a struggle. Without 1-1 and bane speed, you really, like... Innovation hasn't done critical damage then. Like, it's not like this is a game-ending attack, or it shouldn't be. But it's very awkward. Scarlett with a wraparound. No +1 carapace, but willing to move forward. Ling's coming in the back. Bane's the front. A little bit after the queens are getting in the way. The queens were in the way of the banelings. Oh no! Oh, disaster! Oh, they're significant bulk boxing out the banes, and now a critical mass of marines means innovation brings it back. Oh, Scarlett reverting to Scarlett, and innovation essentially doing the same thing, but this time it worked. No. Well, I mean, we can all dream. Like 88 drones before Lair, or like as Lair is finishing. That's too much. Oh. Yeah. Well, that's a surprising amount of light shade games unlike that. You would think Zergs by this point would be a little more hesitant to drone up on that map, but it makes you feel like it's a macro map, but it's really a rush map because there's a surprisingly short rush distance. Well, this map has a surprisingly long rush distance, especially to the third. And I told you, you see, you got to get in the mindset of an unoriginal but very accomplished Terran player. Not 2-0. 2-0 is too obvious. 2-1. Okay, that's when you go for the 2 ranks. And here we are. Very original. So, I hope Scarlett can bounce back from that. Like, that is the most acceptable loss you can have. You just weren't ready for the attack. The Banshees were inordinately, like, that was the first time Innovation used Banshees, really, in the series. So, like, the Banshees were quite a distraction. Not that... Oh, well, she spotted it. Anyways. So now this is what's happening. Well, we're pulling drones, but it's a long way away. 1 Rax is gonna finish. Is that a wall off? Oh my god. No, it's not. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So the drone pull is... Oh no, she's gotta get the SEV. You gotta get at least 1. Okay. She'll kill it. Did not really delay the Rax here. 4 drones is enough to kill a Marine, but this is kind of awkward already. It was a later pull. This was not a pull first. Another SCV is being sent by Inno, indicating an interest in... Oh no, okay. Ooh. Oh, it's not good. It's not ideal. Yeah, that's an awkward start. She was counting on at least delaying the Rags. Now we gotta... Another SCV pulled. The drones will be pulled. This has to do it. Like, this has to stop the bunker now. We've committed this far. We gotta buy time for queens. The drones trying to mineral walk. The Marines microing back, doing a great job on that so far. The Marines, it's getting rough, but she should be able to kill them, but at what cost? 5 drones. 13 drones left. That's... Added a couple more. The queens are helpful. Wait, there's... Okay, there are 2 queens. The number matters. The number really matters here. The queens are the only sort of force multiplier you have. The Lings lose to a critical mass of Marines. That was messy. That was... 7 drones against 3 SCVs. Yeah, I think, yeah. It's only 2 Rex. 3 racks or 4 racks is a lot more all in, but Inno pulled 1 extra SCV, and he's going to cut his losses at this point. He's going to essentially quit while he's ahead. I'd say he took the better trade there. Overall, 9 Lings and 7 drones against 3 SCVs and 6 Marines. That could have gone... Scarlett was really hoping to delay the racks. Like, the second racks, at least. And that can really undercut a lot of your efforts. To get any damage done to the economy. But, here we are. Now, let's be clear. Like, innovation is not a hop, skip, and a tactical jump away from winning this game. No, no, no. He is in no position to afford anything dramatic. But it's completely playable as Scarlett just now mining gas. The 2 barracks. Innovation not even sending a barracks to scout. A lot of the times players will send at least one of the racks to scout. But Inno's bringing them both back for production. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I may have spoiled it. Fusion! Oh, wow. That's a bold move. But also a surprisingly smart one. Well, what are you very... Well, the battlecruiser defends. Watch this be like for advanced ballistics. I don't think so. A battlecruiser is an expensive but incredibly effective tool. And if Scarlett over drones, and not that she would ever, or loses drones and is forced to... Oh my. Alright. Micro good. It burns! Oh no, there's no Ling speed. Oh, you know what she's not? Oh, that's not good. That's... Scarlett's got to be wondering why he sacrificed the Hellions. The drone count is not where it needs to be right now. That was critical damage. There's a huge difference. Like, Scarlett was sub 40 drones. That is a lot of larva that is now just has to go into redroning. A lot of minerals that aren't going to be queens or spores. She's going to be real reluctant to build any spore crawlers. She's starting them now. Understanding that obviously a starport is done and there's no Viking out there. Third command center will be scattered. It kind of comes down to the battlecruiser. If the battlecruiser chooses the wrong jump location, if the battlecruiser dies, then Scarlett's winning. But the battlecruiser's existence will be interesting to see how it affects the game. Like, I don't... Yeah, just the one. The jump into the back of the main. Scarlett will have some time to react. Starts targeting drones immediately. Scarlett probably had some choice... Oh, no. The most obvious play in the book. The bait and switch. The battlecruiser leaves. The queen's drawn away. And now we play guess the battlecruiser count. Because 1 battlecruiser, fine. 2 battlecruisers, 3 battlecruisers, now we need a spire. So Scarlett has to make a call, pretty much. Maybe get an overseer. And see if it's more than 1. Yeah, she agrees. And she will see it's just the one in that it's not a mech build. Both barracks came back. A lot of, especially Korean Terrans, are a big fan of just battlecruiser into... Well, they used to be a big fan of battlecruiser into bio, which seemed kind of awkward at the time, but now Maru's showing off mech lately. She's going to see the barracks, she's going to see the stim, she's going to see the lack of additional battlecruisers, essentially. Baneling Nest time, I assume, is next on the agenda. Did she cancel an Evo Chamber? Something got canceled here. Infestation Pit maybe got canceled? Interesting. The problem is 1-1's about to finish. Innovation has Medivacs. And he has Stim. So there's nothing really stopping him from pulling the same sort of tank push with a battlecruiser kicker that he did in the well, here we go. All right. Scarlett kind of veering into roaches here. But she's got 70 drones, she's got a lot of creep, and she has almost no units. 20 Lings against 21 Marines. Let alone all of the other units. Uh-oh. She was supply blocked until just a moment ago. The creep spread is very good. And that's the only thing that might slow this down. Oh, the queen! Get out of here! We don't like your kind. I forgot. I'm sorry. I apologize. I neglected to mention the queens because the queens are a more fearsome force than the Lings and Roaches combined right now. Getting 2 medevacs really takes a lot of wind out of the sails of this push. There are a couple more. Battlecruiser jump to the back of the natural. That will split the queen's attention. There's no other real anti-air. All 9 queens are grouped together right now, looking for more huge Ling counterattack. Innovation not reacting immediately. Scarlett gonna lose one of these bases. The other 4th base is completed. The battlecruiser in position to take out some drones, and the Ling counterattack is kind of dealt with without killing too many. The queens, the transfuse, the queens need to micro forward, so this battlecruiser actually dies. Actually, no, Innovation not really paying attention. You gotta kill the cruiser. You have to kill it. Oh my god. Oh my god! Oh my... No! No! Oh, god damn it! Oh, son of a bitch! Oh, you dirty Terran bastard! Oh, Innovation just casually saunters out with a 4H... No, don't you dare. Don't you dare walk back like that. Don't you dare. You wait and then you jump back. Oh, you do not deserve this cruiser. He agrees. Okay. Wow. Innovation just does not care. He really doesn't. Oh. Which innovation are we seeing today? Pick your inno. Okay, so the battlecruiser died. Scarlett still has hope thanks to the queens. Tunneling Claws is completed, which is... Check that off your bingo card. Infestor's on the way, which... Yeah, that too. Fungal... Corrosive Bile does not, or Fungal does not stun like it once did, to the great dismay of many Zergs, but, rejoicing. Oh my god, that word is hard for me. Much rejoicing among the non-Zergs, especially. So that means just gunning down medevacs is no longer as plausible. Scarlett now filling in everything. What a weird, not weird, but definitely an off-tempo game. We got Roach Ravager, both sides maxed out, but the tanks not where they need to be. None of them siege, but the concave goes to the Terran, the queens in the back, keeping things intact. Small bio drop getting a little distraught. Beautiful Fungal! But the volley across the bow doesn't actually kill the Marines, which means the medevacs will eventually heal them. A few roaches here, 5 drones going down. Corrosive Bio might be able to... He just saunters away. Innovation has a tendency to do that. This rock and mineral wall might want to be dealt with by Scarlett. Scarlett just grabs 5 bases and holds on to them for dear life right now. Innovation working on a 4th. Scarlett gonna contest. Down goes a medevac. Innovation does not seem to care, especially for his air units. He has shown a pretty significant disregard for those flying units so far this match. But Scarlett is still suffering from a mediocre unit composition. Roach, Ravager, and Fester, even when it was great, was never particularly good against even supply. And it is not the glory days of Roach and Fester. We're far from it. The Infestor doesn't have anything but fungal against this. What are we going to do? Going to use Microbial Shroud to embarrass themselves in front of any other units? Like, A drop going out. There's a severe lack of mobility with the army. Looks like Scarlett's gonna try to break this, which is optimistic. Even a single medevac drop could be incredibly annoying, as there is no real anti-air built in. Is there a Spire? I don't know if she was building one. There is a Nidus. The thing is, Scarlett's maxed. Like, they both have exactly 83. Well, never mind on the worker count. Scarlett now has less than 83 workers. Whoa. Oh no, oh god. The Roach is just not quite capable of getting to the tank. She's bleeding out here. She's got money in the bank, but the units lost. Innovation's actually lost more. I guess we haven't respected the sheer amount of units that have, like, the battlecruiser and all that. The Nidus is... That's a twist. All right. The Nidus into the main. Enough Roaches to cut off the production. The tank push. Innovation trying to decide to go forward or back, as he's in no position to deal with this. Scarlett kind of awkwardly caught. Those corrosive biles do find the mark. That's a lot of Vipers and not that much else. The Wombo combo could be executed here. Another fungal. Where are the blinding clouds or anything else? The reinforcements. Roaches back into the Nidus. The tank push continues. There's just not that many units here. Viper, Infestor, Queen having a spellcaster's convention, but there's brains, but not very much brawn. The lurkers underneath are the only thing between Scarlett and losing this base. The Nidus was... It definitely cut Innovation's attack off, and that's enough time for Scarlett to get +3/+3. Adaptive Talons, full Hive Tech Lurker upgrades on the way. A real threat here. A medevac taken out. The Hydra is being used for their anti-air. Whoa, the Viper's wandering into the Marines, but will be kept intact. Another force moving across the center of the map, essentially uncontested. It wanders onto the creep. Not that many tanks here. Everybody's fully upgraded, besides the tanks are a +2 attack, which is just quite good in and of itself. Blinding Cloud looking for an opportunity and cuts off a critical mass of bio. But Innovation out to the north. Another fungal. Knocks down 3 medevacs, but a hatchery, I think, will be the cost in return. Scarlett is winning the battles. Innovation still very much in this. The supplies are more than high enough for either side to win a full-on engagement, which is why, with the way this has been going... Oh my god. Well, this Roach for... Witness me! 19 lurkers. There's going lurkers, and then there's going lurkers. I don't know if I can describe it any better. That's a big commitment. Innovation has not yet built a single Liberator. So we're Binding Cloud gonna help out here. The lurkers not really in range. The tank's gonna be yanked right in. Couple lurkers taken out. The planetary, not all the lurkers can hit it, but it looks like barely enough. No. Repair, another tank. The bio army is winning the battle, kind of. It's close. There's just enough energy. Only one tank left. Scans need to be used. Innovation driven back. Scarlett still holding it together, just barely in range of the tank is a huge part of this. This feels like a bit of a ham-fisted attack. Half the lurkers unburrowed. They can't find space underground. Innovation with the natural surround. The lurkers now. Oh, that fungal is far too little. Oh, there's no more lurkers. Wow, that was a real efficient way to lose 19 lurkers. Oh no, that is a total and utter disaster for Scarlett. Wow, every lurker just trying to push up a ramp into siege tanks and a planetary. Like, it looked like it would be enough, but Scarlett kind of meandered around for a while. Now this fight's going to be difficult. More lurkers finish. The Viper's still intact. Innovation trying his hand. And there's so many medevacs. A couple less now, but without parasite, don't, maybe not that hatch. Maybe not that hatch, Scarlett. Maybe any other building. I don't, oh my. The bioarmy continues across the map, tearing through everything in its path, suffering significant losses, but Scarlett out of gas, and she doesn't really have any units that don't cut, like Zerglings. Queens. You need queens. Right now, your fighting unit is queens. That's all you can build for just minerals. Another lurker goes down. Scarlett scrambling. You can't have one lurker at a time. That's not how it works. Innovation, another army. Innovation, mining from the bottom left. In the main now. There's enough bio, a critical mass. Another tank dragged in. This will be shut down. The reinforcements will stop the bleeding, but the tourniquet won't last for long if Scarlett continues down this road. She needs to find direction. No, not the spore! Well, that was, not the ideal outcome of that scenario. I don't know. Well, has to leave the Hydras behind. Innovation has been mining comfortably. Scarlett now losing 3,000 more gas, which is exactly how much more she's mined. Well, about how much more she's mined throughout this game. This is awkward. The Vipers, remember those medevacs? Well, here we are. On the opposite side. Scarlett has not much time, if any time, to pull this together. She's making Zerglings. It's time for Queen Scarlett. It is not time. That is not a good sign. More Queen, not Zergling. She has +0 melee. I don't care if you have Zergling speed, technically. Those Zerglings are barely going to give deep tissue massages to any units or buildings they're hitting. Like, it actually is the time to mass up the Queens. That's how you hold the line right now. I feel very strongly about Queens, okay? Like, in case you hadn't noticed. Innovation just throwing things around the map, and Scarlett too slow to respond across the board. The hatchery just kind of finished off from the consumes earlier. Already had been bruised. More lurkers on the way. +1 melee, which is admitting how poor we are on the gas. A full energy Viper involved here. Good. Well, Blinding Cloud hits a couple of the tanks. There's more at the back. Yanks in one. The energy's gone now, but another bioarmy. There's nothing to contest it. An innovation. A calm, collected. He's been flailing the whole game. He's lost more medevacs than he needed to and more Marines than he should. But now has a 50 supply lead. Scarlett not able to keep up. Innovation has been willing and able to throw a uncomfortable amount of bio around the map. And right now, Scarlett, like, what do you even attack? You can't really commit to an attack without losing gas. Innovation has planetaries. Any attack is going to be cost ineffective. But you got to do something. Like, at this point, you have to force a fight, ideally. A scan. Down goes a planetary. One lurker. Gonna try to buy time. Scarlett working with what she has. She lost 32 lurkers. Whoa. Oh. Innovation losing a few SCVs. He has SCVs. Honestly, at this point, he has too many. Oh my god, remember these medevacs? The select all army hotkey seems to have. Well, there they go. The Blinding Cloud could find... Oh, Yanks in the tank. Scarlett taking good fights now, but the Bio Army, quantity over quality. At the end of the day, it's not how many men you lose, but how many you have to replace them. Innovation embracing the attrition war. Scarlett unable to keep up with that. You can keep winning fights, but now Innovation just has too much. In too many angles. Another couple lurkers. There's never enough lurkers ever since the great battle of Planetary Fortress number 7. Innovation will be bringing this to match point. Scarlett on the ropes. It looked like this was a rough start from the 2 racks. It was an uncomfortable position with the battlecruiser. Scarlett looked like she had held on against the tank pushes. But then, how many times, from the Bronze League to the tippy top of Grandmaster, have we seen siege tanks and planetary fortresses, rather? How many times have those been the greatest enemy? Even Scarlett falling prey. Like, who would say 19 lurkers should be enough to kill anything and its entire ancestral line? But somehow... that's not enough. You know, at this point, innovation, it's not enough. There's not enough for Scarlett. There's no fight cost efficient enough anymore. The parasitic bomb is good. The lings are good. But innovation, better. That's a rough one to be going into match point. If I was Scarlett, I would have rather won the last 2 games and lost the first 2. But that's not the hand we're dealt here. Innovation winning the war of attrition, and Scarlett struggling to close it out. That brings us to 5. Oh. That was painful. Like, there's only one... I think the response to the 2 racks could have been better. And, of course, the late-game decision-making as well, but overall, not a huge mistake anywhere, just innovation forcing too many bad fights. And, well, we made it this far. It's time for a quick advertisement, and then we'll get to match point. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you about overlords. No, I'm not talking about Zerg, I'm talking about our corporate overlords, starting with Amazon. Have you heard of Amazon Prime? Well, if you haven't, I don't know how you're on the internet. But if you have, and you have Amazon Prime, did you know every single month for free you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice on Twitch? And you might think I'm a vampire who's never alive at times. You are, and you're probably right, which is why you're on this YouTube video. But even then, you can connect it with Twitch and subscribe for free every month. But wait, there's more. Did you know? Google as well. On YouTube, you can find new videos almost every day, sometimes following a schedule, occasionally, or close to it, and you can like and subscribe to those videos, so that way you get more videos, because the videos are not enough. There must always be more content, okay? We're not content with the amount of... You might have 2,000 videos, 5,000 hours of content, but that's not enough, okay? That's not enough. There can always be more. Give us more videos. Click on the next one. Click on... Not yet. Not yet. Don't you... No. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. What do you have to lose? Thank you for watching this series, and I hope you enjoy. And I hope you enjoy many like this one. Good luck. Have fun. Good night. Thank you guys for sticking around. We're going into the ace match. Scarlett versus Innovation. Could it get any more intense? The last 2 games, a lot... Well, actually, no. We had kind of a split, I would say. I think both players have kind of walked into a victory, and both players have had a tough match. So... that leaves us on 2,000 atmospheres. I would say, not a terrible map for now. Especially if he wants to continue this, like, more tank push heavy style. It is a little on the smaller side, but not super rush oriented. And you can lock down at least 3 bases, maybe 4. Not easily. but it's possible. All right, like, will Scarlett try anything? Because Scarlett, this whole series, hatch first, pool first, but only defensively. Hatch first, and hatch first again. Going hatch first doesn't mean you can't follow it up with a roach warren. Occasionally you get someone going with a quick lair, but the Nidus times are over. Ever since you can actually kill the Nidus while it's tunneling in. Not particularly committed to mining 3 out of 3 in gas. That's just for mineral saturation, which means probably not rushing out the speed. I'm a little not. I'm always completely and utterly unbiased and objective, but personally, I hope innovation loses, because I want to see more Scarlett games. But unfortunately, this is not like losing 2 in a row, especially like those games. Just the outright kind of freebie loss almost. And then the 2 racks into weird Infestor Ravager. The worst is that last game, there were definitely points where Scarlett could have turned it. There were definitely points that with a few more lurkers in position or a few more roaches where they needed to be, a little focus, and it could have been the series. But it really felt like innovation was just kind of like, I don't know. It's like he was grating cheese. I don't know why this is what comes to mind, but he's grating cheese. And he takes the shredded cheese and he just throws it at Scarlett. And Scarlett's like trying to bat it away. Because Innovation's not a cheesy player, but he just kind of casually does it because that's how he is. And that's something that. And then this is what he looks like. Wow. While he's doing it. So that really, I think, ties it all together. And that's how that game went. So here we are. Three CC, but this time Banshee first. Yeah, you don't want to take any chance. Like, not even Innovation's gonna go without the Banshee this game. Right? Yes, you gotta. Well, you have to build it. Yeah. Important part. Creep spread begins. Yeah, do not want to lose this to the first roach all-in of the series. Though there aren't going to be roaches. Scarlett is going to play. When she's been allowed to macro, or at least gave herself some space to macro, honestly, she's looked better than Inno. But Innovation kept control of the game for so long. You might be like, what about Lightshade? What about it? All right, moving on. That was Innovation hitting a sharp timing and Scarlett getting carried away. I've seen Zergs die so many times to that same push on that same map, but like, I always wonder how much of the metagame. It's like, it's nature versus nurture. How much of the metagame is because things work, and how much is because other people made them work, so that seems like a good idea? I think I bring to mind, like, parting with his Immortal Sentry push that only he could do, but everybody else tried to do to, like, decent success, but only parting had, like, a 80% win rate with it. And then, like, Rogue going roaches in this matchup recently. Other players... not as much success. Like, Scarlett's doing it, but is she doing it because that's legitimately the best option, or it's just enough to throw it off? There's no answer to that. Like, some players might take inspiration, such as it is. Some players might independently come to those conclusions. But that's kind of how strategy games and just strategy in general works, if I can consult my good friend Sun Tzu when he posted on 4chan about it. 5 racks, tanks, supply block. One of these not like the others from Inno. Actually, like, only finishing 1 deep. Actually, a surprising supply block here. He has to build more deep. He might have to drop some down. That's going to kind of cut off production. I guess he doesn't have his reactor done yet. It's not that big a deal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he held on to the Cloak Banshees. I just kind of forgot about the Banshees, and so did Scarlett. Like, oh, no. The delayed cloak. There's more than enough queens to kill these. Oh, it hurts. 16, 17, 18 drones. Oh. At 2 Banshees. A critic, that's way too many. This is, like, even though it's not particularly quick and Scarlett still has 70, that's a lot. Oh, 21. Innovation get a little cute with this one. But the Banshees have done what they needed to do. How does this keep happening? Scarlett is going to struggle to actually get a critical mass of Ling Bane now. It's not so much the economic damage as the larva. The queens weren't injecting for a while. The drones had to be rebuilt. Scarlett doesn't have the larva to build that many more Lings. She's got 800, 900 in the bank, saving up for mutas, but the Marines are already here. Cancel comes off. 1-1 is done for Scarlett. So here's one thing. Innovation either forgot or just only had 1 engineering bay. So while Scarlett might assume that +1 armor is coming up, she actually is going to have an upgrade advantage. And she does right now. 1-1. This is not something we've seen much of this here. Oh, what is happening? Where are you going? Come back. Come back, Banelings. Now is not your time. Well, actually it is, but somewhere else. Location, location, location. The Banelings finish. Rolling through the +1 Carapace, help you out a lot. Queen's getting involved. Banshee's back for more, which is optimistic of it. The tanks are doing a lot of damage, but the Queens, hashtag Yas Queens, holding the line. Watch out for the... Oh no, the Marines are too much, though. The Queen's out of energy. The Ling count is too low. The mutas will never exist. Innovation continues to reinforce. The Banshee might fall, but so does Scarlett. With another well-executed and well-timed tank push. Oh no. Innovation swept the leg there and did not give Scarlett the time to recover. A devastating... Oh, I felt that one. I felt that one. I rarely feel so strongly in these. Like, I mean, I do. Obviously, I have feelings too, believe it or not. Oh god, that hurts. I can't imagine how bad it felt to be Scarlett when those Banshees came in. Just a moment for the drones. All right. To miss or be caught off guard by something like that in that situation. Well, innovation ain't done yet. He'll take it. 3 in a row. The reverse sweep. Scarlett goes down fighting. Showing the macro prowess, but innovation shows why. He is one of the most accomplished players in StarCraft 2 history. A steely demeanor and strong execution will get you far. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, check out some of these. Hopefully not as depressing, depending on who you are. Thank you for watching. Dreamhack Summer 2021. Good luck, have fun. Stay tuned.